Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a place thinking you knew exactly who you were, and by the time you walked out, the world had tried to tell you that you were someone else entirely? Because that's what happened to me, Jessica Williams, the day I tried to open my very first checking account. And let me tell you, nothing in my life before that moment prepared me for what I was about to face. I'd spent weeks planning this, reading up on all the banking stuff, practicing my smile in the mirror, even ironing my school uniform myself. I just wanted to look responsible, you know? I was 13, feeling way older than I was, bouncing with excitement as I stepped off the city bus in front of First National Bank, clutching an envelope with $800 in birthday money from my grandma and another $1,200 in savings, all from allowances and little rewards for my grades. I was proud, so proud I could burst. I'd earned this, all of it. My mom always told me hard work mattered more than anything, so that's what I did. Now, you might think I grew up spoiled in some Beverly Hills mansion, and yeah, I had it pretty good, Hillcrest Estates, Westfield Prep, all of that. But my mom, Angela Williams, went out of her way to make sure I never acted entitled. She told me we were comfortable, not crazy rich. She made me take the bus, wear regular clothes, earn every dollar. I never questioned it. I thought it was normal. Turns out, normal's a funny word. So here I am, pushing through those big glass doors, looking around at all the suits and the old folks sipping free coffee in the VIP area. I walked right up to the counter, hard hammering, and there she was, Jennifer Adams, customer service rep, looking at me like I was gum stuck to her shoe. "What do you want?" she snapped. Not a hi, not a "how can I help you?" Just straight up cold. I put on my best smile, told her I wanted to open my first checking account. And you know what she did? She laughed. "Are you serious? This is a real bank, not a community center," she said, loud enough for the other customers to hear. I told her I had all my documents, that the cash was birthday money, but the more I tried to explain, the more her face twisted in disgust. "Let me guess, you got that cash from selling drugs or stealing. That's how kids like you get money around here. Kids like me." I'll never forget that. I tried to tell her I went to Westfield Prep, that my grandma gave me the money, but it was like she'd already decided who I was. "Sure you do. Probably stole that uniform, too," she spat. She picks up the phone, calls her manager, Sharon Mitchell, a woman with a jaw so tight it looked painful, telling her she's got one of those urban kids here trying to scam us. By now, people were starting to stare. Some looked uncomfortable, but nobody said a word. Sharon comes over, eyes me up and down, no smile, no welcome. "Shouldn't you be in school?" she says, all suspicion, no kindness. I hand her my permission slip, but she barely glances at it. She's way more interested in the envelope of cash. "That's a lot for someone your age." "Where'd you get it?" she asks, like I'm on trial. I try to stay polite, try to breathe, but every word out of her mouth feels like a slap. She laughs when I say it's from my grandma. "Grandmothers don't give kids $800 in cash," she says, like it's impossible. I pull out the birthday card, but she waves it away, says anybody can fake that. Meanwhile, my mom's across town in a skyscraper, running a meeting with a bunch of executives. Totally clueless her daughter's about to get humiliated in a bank her own family's money helped build. Yeah, plot twist. My mom's not just Angela Williams, carpool queen and PDA mom. She's Dr. Angela Rodriguez Williams, CEO of a financial empire, the granddaughter of the man who literally founded this bank. She'd gone to great lengths to make sure I never knew the whole story. Said she wanted me to value kindness and hard work before I ever learned about the family fortune. But all of that? None of it mattered to Sharon Mitchell. Sharon kept at me, wouldn't look at my school ID, birth certificate, bank statements. Nothing was good enough. "Girls like you don't just walk around with this kind of money," she said, her voice dripping with something I'd only ever seen in movies. "I've been in banking 20 years. I know what's suspicious." I started to shake. My hands, my voice, everything. "Can you just help me? Please?" I asked, on the verge of tears. But she wouldn't budge. "I don't think so. This is probably stolen, and I'm not going to be part of whatever scheme you're running." I begged to call my mom. "Nice try. You're not calling anyone," she snapped out. That's when she picked up the phone and called the police. Right there in front of everyone, She told them there was a young thief trying to deposit stolen money. It was like the world had turned upside down. One minute, I'm just a kid trying to do the right thing. The next, I'm being accused of fraud by people who refuse to see me as anything but a criminal. Other customers looked away, pretending not to notice. The irony? My family basically owned the place, but in that moment, I was nothing to them. Two police officers show up, Officer Walsh and Officer Santos, already acting like I'm guilty. I tried to explain, show my documents, tell them to check with my mom, but they barely listened. We get calls like this all the time. Kids with stories, Officer Walsh shrugged. Next thing I knew, Santos was telling me to turn around and put my hands behind my back. Why? I cried, but all she said was, "You can explain at the station." The click of the handcuffs was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. They led me out in front of everyone. Phones came out, people whispered. Nobody stepped up. I'd never felt so small, so invisible. That's when I realized sometimes, even when you're right, nobody's going to fight for you. Sometimes you're just alone. But you know what Sharon didn't realize? My mom had set up this emergency contact thing. No matter what, my texts would get through. As Sharon finished her call to the cops, I sent a message with shaking fingers. "Mom, I'm at First National Bank. The manager called the police on me. She says I stole the money. I'm scared." I hit send right as Sharon tried to snatch my phone. But it was too late. That message was already headed across the city, straight to the one person you do not want to cross, my mom. Now, I can't speak for what happened in that boardroom. But word is my mom went from calm and collected CEO to full-on mama bear in about 2 seconds flat. She shut down her meeting, called her attorney, her security chief, even the chairman of First National's board. She got in her car and told her driver to break every speed limit getting there. The people in her office said they'd never seen her so mad. Honestly, I don't blame her. Back at the bank, I'm sitting there terrified, hands cuffed, when the doors swing open and in walks my mom, tailored suit, eyes blazing, flanked by her lawyer and security, looking like something out of a movie. The whole bank went silent. Sharon tried to stand her ground, but you could see her hands start to shake. My mom walked right up to her and said, real calm, "Release my daughter." Sharon scoffed, "I don't know who you think you are, but your daughter is a thief." That's when my mom dropped her business card on the counter, the kind with the gold letters. "I'm Dr. Angela Rodriguez Williams. My family owns this bank." Sharon picked up the card, and the blood drained right out of her face. That's when Charles Morrison, the chairman, came rushing in, calling my mom by her first name, asking if I was okay. The whole room froze. My mom didn't yell. She didn't have to. She just laid it all out. How I was her daughter, how I'd been accused with no evidence, how nobody had bothered to check a thing. Morrison called for security footage, and when it played back, you could see it all, me being polite, Sharon being hostile, pattern after pattern of her doing the same thing to other minority customers. It was like the whole ugly truth was there on screen. Sharon was fired on the spot. They packed her things into boxes, revoked her credentials, and security walked her out the door. Her name became a warning in the whole industry. But it didn't stop there. The police officers who'd arrested me without even checking my ID were investigated, suspended. The bank brought in real bias training, changed its youth policies, hired specialists to work with teen clients. My mom went back and gave this speech about how her family built this bank to serve everyone, and how respect isn't given, it's demanded, and if you have power, you use it to protect others, not tear them down. But for me, the real change came later. Sitting in the car with my mom, crying because I couldn't understand how someone could hate me for something I couldn't control. That's when she told me the whole truth about our family, about the legacy, about why she'd tried to shield me from all this. And you know what? I realized I didn't want to just be another rich kid hiding behind my last name. I wanted to use my voice, my story, to fight for other kids who don't have my advantages. We started a foundation, set up a hotline, ran workshops teaching kids about their rights in banks. I spoke at schools, told my story everywhere I could. Thousands of young people came forward, some just like me, others with stories way harder. The bank even created special packets and new protocols for youth clients, made it so nobody could treat a kid like a criminal just for walking in with cash. It wasn't just about me anymore. It was about making sure this never happened again. So yeah, that day at the bank changed everything. It broke something in me, but it also woke me up. Now, when I walk into First National, they don't just see Jessica Williams, the rich kid. They see the key.